I dedicate this to my 3 beautiful children, Taylor, Antion, and Shania. Grey Goose, Ciroc, and Don Julio, all were drinks that I used to know. In 2005, when the love of my life died, me and Patron took a long ride. It was all gas, no brakes, until my car flipped over and landed in a dark and remote place. I gave him a break after a while, thought I would try wine, switch up my style. That didn't last long, because the streets of Richmond called my baby brother home. That's when I met 1800. He became my new best friend. Everywhere I would go, 1800 went. 1800 was cool. We kicked it extra hard, acted a damn fool, even got kicked out of a few bars. He helped me get over some more family deaths. He was there for me when I needed someone the most. Then came Ciroc and all these cute flavors. Many I had tried, only one I would savor. We chilled for a minute, but I had to move on. Back to my first love, the love of Patron. I like to mix in with my girl Pink Moscato. I would drink both of them straight out the bottle. When I would hit the clubs, it was purple Cadillacs with Patron all night, top shelf. The drinks I would drink showed off my wealth. I like Moet every now and again, but he didn't do the job like Patron always did. It's been 18 months now since I seen my old friend. I doubt if Patron and me will get back together again. It's time for me to find new ways to cope. So to Patron, Ciroc, Belvedere, and Grey Goose, I'm saying adios.
The last time I saw my sister was, I would say, 1.5 years ago, because I've been incarcerated in San Francisco for the last 11 months. And I saw her a couple months before I came here and got arrested. I think the closest I'll come to seeing her again is whenever I get sent to prison. I'm hoping that that isn't the case, but I'm prepared for the worst. Hopefully I'll be able to see her while I'm free, but it might not work out that way. Growing up, I was the youngest born to 4 girls to my mother, Kelly. I never really had a chance to get to know my oldest sister, Laurel. She had gotten into a pretty bad addiction, and my time with her was always cut short because my mom wanted to protect us from her destructive lifestyle. But I always, wondered about her and wanted to know what she was like and always wanted to spend more time with her. But I never really got that chance. By the time I was in 5th grade, on the day I was supposed to graduate from my DARE program at 5th grade in my elementary school, I was unexpectedly picked up by my nanny and my older sister. They just told me that something bad had happened and we had to leave town immediately. I didn't get a chance to go back home. They already had my bags packed, and I didn't get to say goodbye to my mom, and we just left town. And after being gone for about 2 weeks, I slowly gained information on why we were not able to be at the house. My older sister, Laurel, had been involved in a murder, and the police were unable to locate her. So the police kept thinking that my mom was hiding her or helping her, so they kept harassing my mom at the house, and that's why she had my nanny take us out of town. By the time the police found her, they booked her, and she was awaiting trial. A year later, my sister was sentenced to 27 to life in prison, and she was sent to Valley State Prison for Women in Chowchilla. By the time I was 12, my mother started taking us all on the 11-hour drive to go visit her as much as she could. And I looked at that as my chance to be able to start forming a relationship with my sister, since she was, in my eyes, at a 12-year-old, she was in a safe place. And so we started writing all the time, and by the time I was 18, I started to go visit her as much as I could on my own. And we just had an amazing bond after that. I would look forward to those visits more than anything. She taught me how to play spades, how to play dominoes, and while we were eating our favorite snack there, which was hot tamales and kettle corn out of the prison vending machine. And I loved it. It was my chance to finally get to know her and have that relationship with her. And it devastates me that she will probably be in there for the rest of her life, but to me, it's almost a blessing also, because now I get to see her whenever I want. I know that she's safe. I know that she's not on drugs, and she's, living a good, healthy lifestyle now. And I'm more than blessed to have that relationship with her, and I wouldn't change it for anything. If I could say one thing that I hope she could hear, would just be that I love her, and I'm sorry. I wish things would have turned out differently, but we all have our own paths that we have to take. And no matter what, I'll never abandon her.
Well, my name is Ashley Farr, and I'm going to be talking about love. What is love? Dear love, your definition of love. Love. I've always been confused by your true definition. Not until recently in my life, I've learned what love actually means. Well, I'm still in the process of learning the entire definition of love. However, the word love only has 4 letters, but it carries a heavy definition, a long definition, and a strong definition. Love shouldn't hurt. Love is loyal. Love is true. Love is strong. Love is beautiful. You'll experience many different relationships. In these relationships, people will love you differently, and naturally, you'll respond differently. Love takes time. You can't force love, and it is not self-seeking. All my life, the word love has been misused and untruthfully said. I love you. What does that actually mean? When you love someone, you don't hurt them. You aren't disloyal. You are not impatient with the one you truly love. I'm 29 years old now, and the Lord has blessed me tremendously with a special person, which I choose to keep at a disclosed discretion. He is kind, gentle, loyal, patient, faithful, and most of all, he truly cares about my well-being. He keeps me safe, and he's not judgmental and never disrespectful. He and I enjoy the same things. We like the same foods. He keeps me laughing all the time, and we have a good time. He calls me Cupcake. I am in love and no longer confused by the true definition of the word L-O-V-E. In the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13:13, there are 3 things in this life that will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And love is the greatest of all those 3 things. The end. That's it.
Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree. Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree.
As a kid, I realized, but I often dreamed about the city that was cold when it was only spring. I wanted to be a baller or a Laker, as you call it. Points turned me down, so I became an alcoholic. At a young age, I'm saying life was hectic. It was crazy. People socialize and whisper, but they ain't saying Nathan. A glow was what I saw for me. Stream I planned to take in. Catch my breath from each step as I was planning to win. No communication, no time for the fakers. Had so many thoughts, my heart became completely vacant. Also told God that I longed for a vacation, but where we broke line and caused a jack situation. Maybe I was wrong, cause the pain was the driven. I had to pick a dream, but the blur became the vision. The things that was wrong for me, Satan often brought to me. Happiness cost, I bought it to see.
Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree. Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree, tree.
Yo, haters don't wanna see you make it, they watch you fall and stumble. When you get up, that's when you stop to see them crumble. I held the mic up just to maintain and keep me humble. Steady spitting bars, catched it all, never fumble. They told me I would never equal to the greatness. I feel like Kanye, cause I'm a genius when I'm creating. I'm only here for the moment, take my time so I can own it. Breathing in every bar, exhale while I'm flowing. My mind is only here, but my heart is on the mission. Guilty pleasure of the life that center around the riches. My role was to focus on the character I invented, that had one dream that triggered her ambition. My life was controlled, I never did fit in. I'm wishing upon a star that I'm the voice that make you listen. Condolences goes to the ones that never made it, navigating my road. Hopefully I can't partake.
Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree. Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree, tree.
Before the song end, I hope I find my dream, but at the same time, it found me. I had to push the negative that surround me just to catch the blessings in my hand that God sent me. See, my stomach makes the rumble sound cause I'm hungry now. There's no peace that can glow that keep my feet from off the ground. I moved around a lot, but I finally found the right spot. Carved my own lane, speed through every bar that I drop. No stops, no brake lights, short time but I made mine. Blast through every line cause my rhymes is my nine. I did the crime cause it's the hatred that I despise. Lights on the stage when I arrive. My dream is the only thing that keeps me alive. My soul is already taken, never rest when I die. My dream became my wife, I know, I accept it. The only thing that felt like it was heaven.
Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree. Mouth is made of metal, metal, metal. Pocket full of yellow, yellow. Pocket full of gold, and I hope you find your tree, tree.
It found me.
On a normal day, I wake up, I get ready, I think twice about wearing certain things because I don't want to get certain catcalls from dudes or certain like comments from dudes.
My least favorite part of the day is probably the trips going to school.
He got on with her and like he sat like right next to her, and I guess she switched seats, and then like he kept like basically following her, so like she just sat in front of the bus, so like he couldn't do anything. He'll like really like try to like touch me, like try to hug me or something, just in like weird places, like around the waist. Not really like a side hug or just a normal hug. They'll just like pull my hair if I don't get their attention or something.
He would, come up behind girls and hug them around the waist, and, it would startle us and it would make us like kind of scared, but we'd laugh it off. It was no big deal. He was just being friendly, but sometimes it just got to the point where it was just very uncomfortable.
She was going down the stairs and she thought it was like her bag that was like bothering her, and then she like fixed it, like, and then after like once she fixed it, she noticed that like some guys were like touching her, and like she turned and they were just like laughing.
It's just also a very confusing, kind of unpredictable thing, like petrified or paralyzed when it happens because the moment is so fast and you don't really know what to do.
It gives me anxiety because I'm always having to worry if someone's following me, or I have to worry if the street lamps are like enough light to lead me my way. Always gotta watch out if there's any suspicious figures walking near me. What the fuck are you doing?
They should just stop.
He started crossing the street and he was going towards me, and I started running.
Do you not understand what you're making me feel inside?
Please get away.
Do you not see the uncomfort through my eyes, my body language changing?
You are traumatizing her.
I was his prey.
Do you not see how uncomfortable you're making me feel? I don't understand why you're doing this.
The better is the change, the better is I. The better is the change, the better is I. The better is the change, the better is I. Hey, hey. The better is the change, the better is I. The better is the change, the better is I. The better is the change, yeah.
Wages going up and the dollar losing power. Colored folks in television, but entertainment is sour. But it's been like that. They say it's been like that. And claim hip hop is gone, all commercial rap. But they don't sell me no product cause I ain't buying it.
Mystic murmurs, murder queen, silky simple, stalk our dreams. I'm still waiting, drinking tea. I wanna know where I'm
say it. It's very embarrassing. So I just want to say, I heart Sarah Fran Wisby. Yay! And congratulations on your book, Sarah. And thank you all for coming. So I have to say, this is my first reading in a while because I've been recovering from surgery. And so I was, really touched when Sarah asked me to read tonight, and these are all new poems.
Yeah. Wow.
So my new poem, the first poem is The Dressing Stick. The dressing stick, a limb on the edge of the green, and a twinkling star on the head of a small bear, polydactyl paws, matted skin, a 7-inch scar on the left hip. She peeled the scar back and underneath found a child wearing a star hat and star shoes. The hospital stood in the center of a large cornfield, and observers remarked at its beauty and precision. They came bearing frankincense and OxyContin. They wore shields they could sew. They came bearing pork and beef on platters. They held liquid in wires. She waved the dressing stick, and the wires spelled words to her through the window of the blue tent. And this poem is called The Wheelchair. The scar is a girl, and the wheelchair is a woman. The crutch is butch, the drugs are good. The light is dry, the air is paint, the bed isn't there. The nurse wears a cape, and the doctor is a boy. The wheelchair is there. The scar is at loss. The wheel catches light off the reflection of water in a bag. The bag is on a pole. The walker is a man in blue pants. The air is blue paint. The light is a small girl with her face in the pillow. The crutch is a doctor with the diamond on his forehead. The diamond is a tunnel with the one-way road. The ambulance drives towards the east. The bed is dry paint, and the scar rejects the water. The boy is there, and the bag leaks a trickle of tiny blue diamonds. Yes, that was on very good drugs. Mountain. The bruise around the scar is magenta. The magenta of frosted tea cakes in Switzerland. The magenta of pain and suffering. The magenta of majesty. This scar is a mountain of abandoned zippers in the studio, majesty of pain, magenta joy. Hike the frosted peaks in the Alps, children high on sugar peeking through the trees, fingertips in the frosting, caught in the zippers, magenta-colored bruises. Mercury is a state of mind, a planet for children where frosted tea cakes grow on trees, majesty of pain, magenta scar. Children running on a sugar high to the top of the magenta mountain. Yeah. Thank you. So during the days, D-A-Z-E, of my recovery, I watched a lot of films and started thinking about the idea of cinematic distance. So this first one is called Score. Score. The film score is a Turkish bathhouse, a thankless accountant, a backcountry road in Montana, a shy teenager, a loving aunt, a wine glass with a painting of a cow on it, the underbelly of a cat, a stream running along the outside of a prison, the shadow of an orchid. A heroin addict, a blanket statement, a lemon rolling down the hill, a blister on the tip of the finger, a forest ranger, a chunk of ice melting, a bully, a bowl of fresh honey, an abandoned baby, 2 bank robbers drinking coffee, the edge of the volcano, a loose belt, a sorrowful laugh, a broad brush stroke, 3 dice, and an orange coat left on a park bench. The gold light hitting the Venetian glass in a way that the heroine could only imagine. Thank you. So I'm going to read a couple more film poems. This is film number 5. She uncorks a bottle of Cabernet at 4:30 p.m. A slight buzzing in her ears, pleasing. A sliver of pain through her left thigh, remote. She thinks about her ex. He used to live here, and his shoes were over there. The landlord sends a text. She doesn't respond. She lifts the glass to her lips, close-up of her teeth, crooked on the top row, straight on the bottom. The sound of the fridge, chilling. Long shot of woman as she slowly walks to the radio and turns it on. The voice of the radio announcer. Never mind the fog alert, ladies and gents. A calf will be born in the morning. Buy everything before you forget. The song that you just heard was by More Vision for All. And this is my second to last poem, and it's called The Missing. 1. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. 1. A river of damp green runs through the burnt orange valley. The swimmers in the diamond-shaped lake at night. The trees bust open, petals landing on cotton dresses. The children have disappeared. Parents weep in empty homes. 2. A chalkboard, a basket of fresh berries, lost signals. The opera singer brings tears to their eyes. The swimmers near the lake, shivering. A painting in the studio, glittering. 3. The television doesn't work anymore, nor does the oven. The deer have gone the wrong direction. Turn around and head for the hills. The painter tracks greenhouse paint on the blank canvas. The girls were in school to learn. Their packed lunches and satchels. 4. Mother cuts the melon into sections and puts them on chipped blue plates. She calls out, "The fruit is ready, girls, come home now." Streaks of teal and vermilion, layers upon layers. The deer can't find their way back to the hills. And this is my last poem. It's a love poem. Love. And it's called 9. I was hypnotized by 9. I met him in a back valley. The cape he wore appealed. I took his hand and followed him home. 9 will never end, an ally. We skateboard through the alley, our powder blue capes flying through the valley of 9. We did it 9 times. Capes flung on the floor, caps hung on the door. Naples, nut bread, noontide, nightcaps. Nevertheless, 9 is fine with us. We swoop through space and time, wild capes and caps, captivated, never-ending valley of 9. Thank you.
Tell me if this is too loud. Are you tired? falling short in the dark. You were worthy to be dear. Did I hear in my mouth, even though it was burning deep down inside? Got in my heart. Your heart. To play with me the song called Dakota. This is Basha, everyone.
Hello. There we go. How is everyone this evening? So I want to first start out this evening. I'm just going to give you a few of my thoughts. And one of my thoughts this evening is that I just really adore being Black. And I just want to set that as the tone for what you're going to hear from me this evening, just as thing. And also I want to say that my love of being Black isn't any different than yesterday, and the likelihood is that I'm going to love it again tomorrow when I wake up. So I just want to share that with you this evening, just to start things out. So I have a bit of a story I'd like to tell. I was recently in New York City, spent some time in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Harlem, did all that kind of stuff. I have family there, though did not visit with them this trip, but just really was there to, just for a quick little vacation. And when we were there, my partner and I, we had dinner with a friend of hers, and this was in Lower Manhattan, and it was at this little tapas place in Lower Manhattan, and it was fantastic. So we went to, okay, so one of the things about, I should mention, one of the things about this restaurant was that it had one of those single names, kind of just like a powerful single name. And it made me think a lot about how folks feel like names that sometimes that people of African descent or Black people have that are creative names. And I have some thoughts I wanted to share on that. So as you know, some folks are regularly, systematically the recipients of discrimination based on their names. I think you may have been aware, perhaps, of studies where, resumes come through, job applications, and people have certain feelings about the names that come through. Not the content of the resume or the cover letter, but the name, because that's what's important, is the name, not what you can do in a job at all. No. So, more extreme forms of the discrimination and oppressive tactics, what we see are things like death. So we know that based on Freddie Gray, Oscar Grant, and Mernisha McBride. I mean, I could go on and read these names, but we know about that. On the other side of the continuum of racism and oppression are the reactions that some non-Black people have to what I call the customized first names that I was mentioning before. So those are names that I call not silly names or what kind of name is that, but I call them culturally expansive. I call them historically celebratory. So names like Jashawn, Nia, LaQuisha, and Beyonce. So those are some names. And it is my firm belief that Black parents who feel so inspired by the birth of their child that they want a name that fully captures how they feel about that moment, the uniqueness of that child, kind of like a unicorn. And if you think that all unicorns are white, take a moment to reflect, because the brown and Black unicorns, they're gorgeous. They're really lovely. It's also my firm belief that the same care and cultural intention that goes into naming a Black child is no less sensical, no less silly than the care, thought, and time that goes into naming some of these Nouvelle restaurants. So that's the connection right there, right? So I don't know if you've seen, like, in different areas that are being developed, that there are these restaurants that have these incredibly interesting names, right? So, okay, so going back to New York City. So I was I was there, we were at the Tapas Place, this is Lower Manhattan, and this place, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a name like Crisp. Tumble. Or Velcro. So just any of these names that people come up with. And also there are the 2-word names as well for restaurants. Like I can imagine one called Bichon Marmalade. And they serve, you know, they would serve raw meats like chicken, raw pork, and raw beef, with a variety of spicy sauces for dipping, right? Another restaurant might be Silky Tongue, which is likely to serve just a totally all liquid menu. So everything is just liquid, like shakes, and they just blend everything up. So there's no, you know, silverware or anything like that, just napkins and probably a lot of bathroom time. So, and then the other one I was thinking of was Cantankerous Eel. And they're just serving a variety of seafoods and such. Some deep fried, but you know, prepared as you want, I guess, at your table or whatever. Okay, so the restaurant with the small plates, at that restaurant, I excused myself because I wanted to use the restroom. It's a common practice. You go to a restaurant, you might actually use the bathroom there. And the restroom was fairly small, but it had personality, a certain je ne sais quoi for a restroom. It was nice. It was, you know, wood and really detailed. Somebody spent time. I'm surprised that the restroom itself didn't have a name, a special name for that. Anyway, as I was coming out of the stall, 2 women, so you have to, let me just kind of help you understand, and I might step away from the mic here, that I'm coming out of the stall this way, and the main door is right here. So it's a very cozy, cozy space. So it's right here, my door to come out is here. There are only 2 stalls, the next one is here. And they're like the fancy kind that have doors, so it's not like the, you know, wood doors, and you get to lock it and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I'm walking out of, I'm stepping out of the stall, I open my door, step out of the stall, and these 2 women walk in. They, you know, like myself, seem to be maybe tourists. But I would say that they were probably from Montana, but not the black part of Montana. That's not where they were from, I can guarantee that. So I'm coming out of the stall, and they're entering, and the 3 of us make eye contact simultaneously. And one of them steps back to the door, opens it, and checks the word on the door. She does. Yeah, she checks the label on the door. Because in her reality, just for her, things have been altered a bit. It's a little jarring, because I'm standing there, and she's coming in to use the bathroom, and this wasn't part of her game plan, I think, for using the restroom that evening. So there's that, and I also think because her idea of who should be in that bathroom at that time didn't jive with her expectation, right? These are things that we have become more familiar with over time, and folks are talking more about that, about the shocking experiences when you go into the restroom, when really you're just there to use the toilet. That's it, just the toilet. Okay, so I would also say the other component, which, is just guess around this, is because I'm black, and I'm there and I'm coming out of the stall, and honestly, I don't think she expected a black person, and I'm also tall and these other things, and I think that she just didn't expect that when she was chatting with her friend from Montana. And also to think that blackness means dangerous, harmful, violent, but primarily male, right? So then we're talking about how that's the reaction of just being almost frozen in time, like she was. So there we are, the woman The door, I call her Lady Door, we'll call her that. So Lady Door, she's double checking the door as though the words might change on the door, that maybe she's stepping, it's like a Chronicles of Narnia thing, she's kind of stepping in. But I have a feeling that the word on the door didn't change. Maybe it could have said she stepped back, maybe it might say something like iguanas or something, I don't know, whatever. So there's the other woman who's now the friend, because we, remember there's this other woman. She's looking at me, looking at the friend, looking back at me, looking at the friend, and then she just bails, right? She actually was able to make a decision and pull out of, I guess, the tractor beam of my blackness and just go to do what she was there to do, which was go to the bathroom, right? So now she just bailed on her friend, like, I'm out, I'm gonna use the bathroom. And then the other woman is still standing there. And she's just kind of, looking at me. And I'm standing there thinking to myself, well, you know that I just watched you go through this whole process of like gender confirmation right at the door, so she's checking and looking. But I realized at that point that what I needed to do was be able to leave, because mind you, I'm still standing in the stall with the door, like I haven't left the bathroom yet. I haven't even left the stall after this whole situation. So she's just kind of still standing there looking at me. And then she, I think, calculates in her brain, she quickly opens the door to allow me to leave. So I go that way, right, go out that way. So she would, make it such that that was the case. So that was her goodwill gesture, I guess, to let me leave the stall, the bathroom. So I just stared at her. She opened the door wider. I continued to stare. And finally I said, if it's all right with you, I'd like to wash my hands. I just want to wash them, right? Oh, right, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. And she continues to stand exactly where she's standing. She doesn't move. She's just standing there holding the door open and looking at me, something like this. So because she was caught in the immobilization beam of my blackness, I actually had to give her directions about where to stand in the bathroom so I could fully execute my restroom journey. That's all I wanted to do, was just do that last part, the hand washing, and I'm out. So I said to her, how about you stand over there, and then I'm gonna walk this way, because I'm gonna go to the sink, which is right over there. So that was my big kind of plan for how we were gonna work this out. And then you can guess that she moved out of fear, I suppose, to her, she moved to her instructed location. And at long last, everyone, I was able to wash my hands in the bathroom. And then leave the actual bathroom. Now, mind you, of course, the friend is still in the stall. She's not coming out. She's just staying in there. So anyway, in any event, this, folks, is an example of how Lady Door fear almost caused me to contaminate the entire restaurant with my toilet hands. And I realize now that I could have touched anything and everything inside that restaurant. The power slipped through my fingers. And I'm a little sad about that. Thank you very much for your time.